That is the new Geely EX5, a rival to the likes of the Tesla Model Y, the Kia EV3, the Skoda Enyaq, one of my favourites, the Renault Scenic, and of course the MG S5. But while this car comes in at just £32,000, which means it undercuts most of those rivals, of course MG excluded, it does only have a claimed 267-mile range, which means it's all right in this very competitive class. Although Geely fights back with a load of standard equipment. So, in this review, we're going to find out whether the new EX5 comes packed with enough tech and niceties to compete in this hot segment. I'll run you through the standard equipment it gets and also the additional equipment you get on this top-of-the-range Max model. Plus, I'll explain what the specs of the battery are and compare how it drives versus its rivals. Oh yeah, and I'll show you all of its coolest design features. And best of all, if you like what you see, you can experience the EX5 for yourself at a Geely Marshall store, where you can even arrange a test drive. To find your nearest store, search Geely Marshall. Of course, if you prefer a used car, make sure you download the Cinch app, which you can do using the QR code that's on screen now. Now, first I want to run you through the specs of the battery, which of course is down here in the floor. It is a 60.2 kilowatt hour battery, which is quite small for the class, but it does at least get you a claimed 267 miles of range in the entry-level car, and this Max trim here, well, that has 255 miles of claim range if you fill it up to 100% using the charger there. Now, if you do plug it in, you can get up to 160 kilowatts of charging speed, so a claimed 30 to 80% charge time takes 20 minutes. Although that's a weird unit to use. Most people use 10 to 80, so it's probably closer to half an hour, which means, again, it's definitely not the most competitive. But I'm going to put the distance this car can cover to the test, or at least I'm going to calculate from my drive today what I think its real-world range is. Now, this car actually has 218 horsepower, 320 newton meters of torque, and a claimed 0 to 62 time of just 6.9 seconds. It's a front-wheel drive car, if you're wondering. But that's pretty nippy. I have to be honest, this body, this structure is very tough, as shown by the Euro NCAP score of 5 stars. So it's definitely a safe family car according to the tests. But in terms of design language, when you look a bit closer, it gets a bit more interesting. That's definitely not the case for the badge because, I mean, to me it looks like it's unfinished. But anyway, that's the Geely logo. But these headlights are apparently very clever and adaptive as standard. They're LED headlights and they have over 200 LEDs in there, which mean they can do some clever adaptive things. Now on the side, on the entry-level car, on the SE, you get a 18-inch alloy wheel, but we have the Max, as I said, which means we've got 19s with a slightly more aerodynamic design here. And at the rear, I think it probably ticks some of the basic boxes. It's got that kind of Macan-esque lighting display, which again has over 200 LEDs in there to give you that quite cool detailing. Actually, if I pull in closer, you can see there are some quite cool layered features there. If you look on top, you've got standard roof bars up here, so you can clamp your roof box on, and there's a cheeky little spoiler if that's your thing. And something that's really appreciated on a miserable day like today is a set of standard heated door mirrors, which means they can obviously de-ice themselves and also can make the water evaporate off, which is good for analog visibility. Other standard features on the EX5 across all trims are a 15.4 infotainment screen here, which is obviously joined by an instrument cluster screen here. I'll talk you through the details of these in a little bit. And also a 15-watt phone charger, a wireless phone charging mat over here, which is not cooled, so your phone does get quite hot, but at least it charges it nice and quickly. You also get some nice and squishy comfort features in the car. So the seats I'm sitting on are nice and soft and yet quite supportive, and you've also got some cushioned supportive areas around the cabin. Everything is wrapped in vegan leather, but it's got some padding underneath. Now, my favorite feature in the car that you get on this Max model is, look, you'll see the standard stuff you get, auto heating on the steering wheel, heated steering wheel. You also get ventilated seats, which top up the heated seats you get as standard, and massage. Look at that. I can adjust the type of massage you get. Oh, that feels really good on my back. So there's loads of different types of massage functions you can get for the driver and the passenger seat as well. So in this top of the range model, if you do long distance driving, those are going to be much appreciated. Another thing I really love in this top of the range Max is the 1000-watt 16 speaker system. It's really powerful and it means you can listen to your favorite tunes and hear all the details. Oh, and you can also see all the details in the cabin thanks to a panoramic sunroof, which can be controlled by the voice tech. So I can demonstrate now. I won't say hi Geely because it doesn't respond so keen. Press the button. Can you close the sunroof blind?
Okay.
There we go. That works beautifully. You also get front parking sensors, which aren't standard on the other two versions of this car. You do get rear parking sensors on those and of course reversing camera, but you don't get the front parking sensors, which is quite handy because it's a big SUV this. Oh, and also going for the Max model means you can use the key, in theory, to power open the tailgate. There's also a button just above the number plate. The only thing the Max doesn't get versus its rivals is a front driver's seat that can recline all the way. Because this has all the massage tech in it, and because it's got memory and electrics and all that stuff, it doesn't fold back all the way, it just leans back at a normal angle, whereas the lower cars, well, you can actually lay the seat down to create a bed, so you can, I guess, have a nap while you're waiting for the car to charge. Although you're not completely on your own, even in the top of the range Max car when it comes to entertainment, there is still a rest mode over here, which means it will go nice and quiet for you. There's a camping mode as well, which helps you use the vehicle to load technology to power up things like your lights or an external sound system, for example. Plus, you of course also get Spotify as well there, although I don't see YouTube in here. Maybe that's one to come on an over-the-air update. There is plenty of information on this instrument cluster over here. So if you're just looking up for driving details, you don't need to make any adjustments to that whatsoever. Plus, you've got your adaptive cruise control adjustments over here and things to tweak your media as well over here. Although, of course, you will see the climate control by Pure Contrast is entirely in there. So that does mean you do have to dive into the menus to make those adjustments. You can use the voice control tech, but it isn't perfect. So definitely this is where you're going to find yourself. Plus, you've got a load of storage space in here. So you've got your phone up there, just one wireless charging map, by the way. But look, if you look in there, there's some storage room. There's plenty of storage space under there as well to go with your charging ports. And the door pockets are quite generous as well. You can get a proper Pepsi bottle in there. Not a 2-litre one, of course, but a normal one quite comfortably. So space-wise, up front, is good. As for the rear seats, well, space is good as well. We've still got tons of headroom above me here. I'm just under 6 foot. If you haven't watched this channel before, there's a good amount of knee room as well. And surprisingly, given that there's a battery in the floor, I can tuck my toes and actually my feet under the seat ahead. So legroom is also decent as well. And because there's no foot tunnel through the middle, it means even middle passengers have plenty of space for their feet too. Oh, and these rear seats, while you've got 3 conventional seats here and they only split in 2 bits, so you can't fold them down individually, you can at least lower this rear bench so rear passengers can have a slightly more laid back seating position if they prefer that for comfort reasons. Oh yeah, and look, if there's no one in the middle, well, then you've got a couple of cup holders down here. Do we have a ski hatch? No. What you do get though is more decently sized door pockets. Of course, you've got storage behind the seats. You've also got really easy access to the Isofix bar and a feature I quite like, which is hidden away. I'm going to try and do this one-handed. Let me zoom out to show you it. If I put my hand under here, you've got a hidden storage compartment under here, which apparently can carry up to 3.5 kilograms. But that's going to be great. If you've got kids, you can put your toys, the soft toys, whatever they want to store down in there so they're nice and tidy. As for boot space, well, as I mentioned, you get the electric tailgate on this Max, although the button here, if you don't use the key, is down in the dirtiest spot just above there. So thankfully the car's clean now. When it gets mucky, that's going to be annoying. But the boot space is okay. It's got 410 litres of space in here overall, which if that means nothing to you, well, it's pretty good in the class, although definitely not the best out there. But look what you get when you lift up this floor. A whole load of storage space down here, plenty of room to throw away your charge cables and much more as well to go with the side space down there. Oh no, not on that side, that's taken up by our very complicated sound system. But on that side, you've got some storage space, which means overall, this is actually a pretty practical car. It's a bit short in boot length, but the depth is excellent. The standout feature of driving the Geely EX5 is the ride, because genuinely, as I go over one of those horrible plastic speed bumps, the ride is really cushioned. It does a great job of absorbing big undulations, bigger bumps and bigger potholes, but also the small annoying cracks, ridges, speed humps, the things that really trouble most SUVs in this category. Well, this just seems to smother them all. It really is, I would say, the most comfort-focused suspension car in this class. So for people who like a softer ride, this will have masses of appeal. It's also nippy as well. As I said, 6.9 seconds to 62 miles per hour, and it really does feel it. You can also get up to motorway speeds with no problems whatsoever. In fact, accelerating in any circumstance will not be a problem. I just wish that the opposite, the adjustable regen, the thing that helps you slow down in an electric car with minimal effort, I just wish that was slightly easier to adjust on the fly, because what you have to do is you actually have to dive into the menus and go from normal to strong. But every time you turn off the car and start again, it's set back to normal. So if you're like me and you live in an urban environment and you would rather it be set to strong as the default setting, you can't do that. You have to always dive in and press a couple of taps of the screen. But when you do that, it is at least pretty strong, although it's still not the best one pedal driving mode out there. MG and Kia, they really let you ramp it up, and as you can hear, the bings and bongs are going.
They come as part of this EX5 Pro's long list of driver assistance features, which includes adaptive cruise control and both front and rear cross traffic alert. Much of this stuff is really useful, but if you're like me, you'll probably want to switch off some of the annoying binging and bonging stuff, which you can thankfully do by using the shortcut button on the wheel to access the relevant digital menu. Do that before you set off, and the car will stop telling you off.
Visibility is really good. The door mirrors have great visibility towards the back. Out the back I can see, through the rear window I can see loads as well. And the reversing cameras, when you are doing some reversing, are really, really effective. It really means you can see around this quite large car very easily. And the turning circle isn't too bad as well. One really commendable thing on this EX5 is actually the range. Now that sounds strange because, as I said earlier, it's not got the best range in the sense of just pure battery range in the class. Far from it. In fact, the Renault Scenic E-Tech, that offers over 370 miles of claimed range. So it's way above what this can do with 250 miles of claimed range. But even in these mixed conditions where it's quite cold, I've got the heating on and the battery temps aren't going to be optimal, well, I'm still getting 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour out of this car. And that's on a mixed drive. I've been on the motorway as well for about 100 miles. So that's quite impressive. That means real world range in this car is going to be about 225 miles of range, which, all right, isn't great for the class, but because it's got that 60 kilowatt hour battery, that means actually it's pretty efficient. So it's just good that this car does do a very good job with its actual tech, so long as you remember to turn off those bings. So I really am a fan of this car's squishiness and softness, especially in an urban environment. So I think this Geely, it slots nicely and very competitively into the segment. It's just whether you prefer a comfort ride rather than a sporty ride that's going to help you decide whether to go for this over the MG. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think this is a welcome arrival? And do you think we're going to see lots of these on UK roads? I have a sneaking suspicion we will. And fair enough, because it is genuinely a very good car.